Sitemaster can track and maintain information across many different data types such as cylinders, hardware products, distributors, and many others. The program links these data types together. For example, keys that are issued to personnel can be linked to the valuable assets that are in your rooms. But what if you don't need or require this level of detail? What if you just want to keep it simple, or what if you want to set up other users who use the program to perform specific tasks? How do you want to use Sitemaster 200? This exercise will demonstrate how Sitemaster can be set up to meet user-specific requirements. The button bar displays some of the main data types in the program. The Setup menu also includes other data types that the program uses. I'll select the User screen. This is where program users are added and where their access rights are configured. We'll begin by adding a new user. I've added Ken Lawrence, and now I will save his record. For this exercise, we will reconfigure Sitemaster in order to set it up as an application that is used only for issuing keys to personnel. This setup can apply to everyone using the program or just to a specific user. It's up to you. I'll start by clicking on the Begin Set User Rights button. Now I'm going to navigate to the various screens of the program that I want to turn off. On the Assets screen, I'll right-click on the green background. I'll then select Invisible. This turns assets off. I'll do the same for building information. And for cylinders. If I was planning to issue key rings, I would leave this turned on, but I'm not going to use rings, so I'll turn that off as well. I also don't need to deal with key systems since I import them directly from Schlage Lock Company. Under the Setup menu, there are additional screens that I can also turn off. For example, the control list screens and others. I'm done with my selections, so I'll exit back to the User screen where we started. Here are the various areas of the program that I turned off. To finish, I'll click on the End Set User Rights button and exit the user screen. I want to mention that when reconfiguring Sitemaster 200, make sure that you have at least one user or system administrator who has access to all of the screens. This is necessary in order to turn the screens back on in case you want to use them later. From the Setup menu, I will now navigate to the System Setup screen in order to turn on password protection. By the way, watch the training video called Setting Up the Program to learn how to use the system setup screens and the user screen. Now I'll turn on the Use Passwords feature. By doing so requires me to log back into the program after I quit or log out and then try to run Sitemaster again. Now I'll log out and log back in as Ken Lawrence. The program is now configured for simply tracking key issuances to personnel. To make your job even easier, Sitemaster can import your data. For example, here's how I import my keys from Schlage Lock Company. If you use an outside service provider who maintains the key information for you, you can import that information from this provider if they are using Sitemaster 200. If your site has a personnel or human resources database, here's a way to import your personnel records. If you can import your keys, for example, you can use this wizard to get them loaded quickly. I've already imported my key numbers. Let's take a look. Here they are. I've also imported personnel. I'll select Paul Dare. Now I'll issue Paul a couple of keys. I begin by clicking on the Issue Keys button. Because I'm not using buildings or rooms, I'll select the By Key Number option for issuing keys. Now I'll select the keys that I imported. I can type in a question mark to look up all of the keys. And I'll go ahead and issue Paul a B11 and a B15 key. The two keys are issued to Paul. One of the benefits of using Sitemaster 200 is that later, if you wanted to add buildings and rooms and key up your doors, the program would automatically link these key issuances to the doors and show you what locations your personnel can now access. Can it get even simpler than that? Yes, it can. In this example, I've configured Sitemaster for a department user who can only track and maintain the assets for her department. Here's a different example of how Sitemaster might be configured for an outside service provider who does not need assets or personnel. Even though there are certain parent-child relationships built into the software that may somewhat limit this feature, the program can still be highly customized for different users. How do you want to use Sitemaster 200?